Today on Veteran Stand Up, I'm talking to Kayla Lopez, the Director of Military Partnerships at VIQTORY and also the leader of their military-friendly program. Well, Kayla, based on your work and your research, what are the top characteristics of a military-friendly company?
Hi, Paul. Thank you for the awesome introduction. Military Friendly is a program that looks at organizations and their ability to develop strategic initiatives, programs, policies that focus on sort of the holistic approach to veteran wellness in the workplace, right? So the recruitment efforts, retention, all of those things, just to give you some background about what Military Friendly is and what it does. We also then, so we've been around about 20 years. So we've got 20 years of data on organizations who have voluntarily submitted their efforts to us, from their outcome percentages to partnerships, programs, effectiveness of those programs. So we've really been able to take that information and dive a little deep to figure out what works, right? And so over 20 years, we've been able to see companies grow in their efforts and expand and really see some awesome things from organizations. So with that being said, we have found that there are sort of three buckets, if you would say, of things that organizations who have very strong military programs and military efforts excel at, right? And the number one thing with that, I think, would be understanding their internal engine. A lot of these top organizations really, really get it. They understand what kind of workforce population they have. They understand, who they're trying to look for that would be a good fit for their organization. They also know how many military service members are in their organization, whether it's Guard and Reserve, veterans, spouses, dependents. They do a really good job of tracking the information that they have and their candidate pipelines, as well as employee pipelines. So I would say before anything, having strong self-identification initiatives is really key for these programs to succeed. And using that data to understand how you find more of the individuals who are excelling at the organization and how you find more champions, right? So birds of a feather flock together, right? If you've got someone who's really excelling at their job, they love their company, they're promoting and advancing, it's likely that they have peer groups too that also share some of those qualities. And so tapping into that as a recruitment pipeline can be really strong. Number two would be strong partnerships. So leveraging the community in their efforts, getting involved locally and nationally in different programs with different MSOs, VSOs, and building those relationships. And when you're building those relationships, it's so important to have a key contact or an accessible contact. So a lot of what we hear a lot from the VSO MSO side is, yeah, that's a great organization. They've got great programs, but we don't know who to get in contact with over there. And it's always, there's a lot of turnover, right? The responsibility changes hands. People leave, people move on, they promote, they advance. So just keeping a good contact stream with those partnerships can go a long way. And then the third thing would be retention programs. So a lot of organizations, again, that have strong military-friendly initiatives also have strong support initiatives. So they've got employee resource groups. They've got opportunity for education and advancement. So, tuition reimbursement, certifications. There's lots of programs and resources available to the military community and to employers for them to leverage. An example would be a program like Onward to Opportunity, right? Run through IVMF. That program allows employers to, they could use it as a retention tool. Tell your employees that this O2O program exists, help get them involved in a cohort, and they can actually go through that certification and education process at no cost, right? It's covered through the program. So that can be a great partnership and retention tool as well. So those are the top three things that strong military-friendly programs all have in common.
And why do these matter? What sort of impact do they have?
Absolutely. So they matter a ton, right? Helping your employees understand why you're asking them to self-ID beyond just an OFCCP form removes the fear element, right? It takes away from, why are you asking me these questions? And no, I'm not going to check that box, right? Nobody fills out government forms willy-nilly. So helping your candidate pipeline and your employees understand, hey, listen, we've got these support programs in place. We've got strong Guard and Reserve policies that go above USERRA. We offer benefits to our military community, but we just have to know who you are. And so that helps your program be successful, right? It also is going to help with retaining those employees. So a lot of times, with the change in our current situation prior to that, the biggest reason for people leaving their job was no opportunity for advancement, right? Or more pay. So if you can overcome that challenge by saying, hey, listen, we've got programs and policy in place that can help you achieve what you're looking to achieve, and we'll foot the bill, right? We want to help you get there, and then we promote from within. So that's so important, and that's a big reason why I think that these programs do well. And then thirdly, from that is that their employees understand that they're supported, right? They understand that the employer wants to retain them, and that they've invested into partnerships, they've invested into programs that make sense, right? They've asked their employees, they understand their internal engine. They've got stakeholders from different departments, right? So sharing in the responsibility and creating, strong partnerships externally and internally is going to give you multi-layered stakeholders. So the responsibility is not just on one military program manager, but all of the departments involved.
And how can a viewer learn more about your research and the kind of things you just described?
It's a great question. So for more information on Military Friendly, you can visit militaryfriendly.com. There are two sections of that survey. We offer it to schools from an education perspective and also to companies. So if you're looking for more information on companies, you would go to militaryfriendly.com/MFC guide. And if you are looking for schools, you can go to militaryfriendly.com/schools survey guide.